the biggest news ever.
Enable blind abilities. The skill will drop right in.
That's amazing. I want Magic Tap. I want Magic Tap.
Magic Tap.
I want Magic Tap in Android, but it doesn't exist.
How about this? General Electric released 5 models of their air conditioner that now all work with the Amazon Echo devices, Google Home, as well as HomeKit.
I got to see their 3D printers. The guy said they made these little Star Wars things, and I grabbed one, his little H-type shaped starship something. It was really cool because he said it costs about like 2 to 3 cents to make one of these things. And the kids can actually put them in their hand and feel them and get the shape and everything and take them home.
Amazon and Best Buy, almost sounds like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
They are now partnering on a line of television. I'm assuming all these TVs will have voice view built into them.
You're in your little blind bubble, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian and his blind bubble.
Yes, I'm the blind bubble boy. Zoom Pizza. Pizzas are just made by robots. Is setting up the A-Lady fully accessible?
From your iPhone, yeah.
The initial setup needs to be on an iPhone or I believe an Android device as well.
What else has been inserted into that port?
Welcome back to yet another That Blind Tech Show. You notice the emphasis on that because without the that, it would just be Blind Tech Show, and that's another show out there. I'm here with Allison Hartley. How are you doing today, Allison?
I am doing great. I'm in the middle of house buying craziness, but things are going well.
That's great to hear. I now have a place to stay in Napa. I'm very excited about that.
That's right. Anytime. Come on over.
And, of course, Mr. Minnesota, Jeff Thompson. How you doing there, Jeff?
I'm doing good, Brian. Just got done barbecuing. Spring here. It's beautiful.
You know, Allison, he says it's spring there, but it's still only 30 degrees.
Yeah. Well, that's spring for Minnesota.
We're going to enjoy these 3 days.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, I hope I didn't start the show off too excited because then this would now be a letdown. I mean, we have the biggest news ever. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're blind and you're driving, tell your Uber driver to pull over.
Pull over.
Because you're going to want to hear this. Jeff, would you like to tell the people the biggest That Blind Tech Show / Blind Abilities news of all time?
Since government cheese, right?
That is correct. Check your Twitter feed for that information.
Yes.
Well, now you can listen to the Blind Abilities Network, all the podcasts, That Blind Tech Show. You can listen to it right on your Amazon device just by enabling it and saying your, whatever you want to call it, enable blind abilities. And the skill will drop right in.
That's amazing.
It's awesome. It's awesome because I need to hear myself in more places than just my iPhone and computer.
That's right.
But, you know, and we'll get into later about the A-Lady and E-Lady because we did get a question about what are we talking about. But for those of you who know the A-Lady or the E-Lady, if you call it by that, it's pretty fantastic. And Jeff did, of course, another excellent podcast episode.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Jeff Thompson from the Blind Abilities Network, and I just want to bring you some great news. Our Amazon device skill has just been made available, and you can say, enable blind abilities.
Here's Blind Abilities. Welcome. You can listen to all the episodes
And stay in tune to the latest podcast released from the Blind Abilities Networks. And now check out this little demonstration on using the Blind Abilities skill on Amazon. Echo, enable blind abilities.
Okay, here's Blind Abilities. Welcome. You can listen to all the episodes of Blind Abilities' podcast, including new episodes, as they are released. For now, you'll start with the most recent episode, but you can change by skipping forward or backward. You can even say how many episodes you'd like to skip.
When asking the blind ability skill to skip forward or backwards so many minutes, or to skip forward or backwards through the episodes, you invoke this by saying, tell blind abilities to, or ask blind abilities to play the most recent, or skip forward 3 episodes, or skip forward 4 minutes, skip backwards 5 minutes. And you can even ask to play a specific episode. Okay, let's go back to Lady A.
The newest episode is Job Insights Episode 2, Vocational Rehab 101, Demystifying the Myths and Planning for Employment. Would you like to listen to it?
Yes.
Here's Job Insights Episode 2, Vocational Rehab 101, demystifying the myths and planning for employment.
I know sometimes that a lot of individuals can be a little bit overwhelmed by applying for services with vocational rehabilitation, and we'd like to hopefully
Echo?
demystify some.
Tell Blind Abilities to skip forward 5 minutes.
Skipping forward 5 minutes.
Talk to necessary individuals that might be working with you on the case or to obtain medical
Echo?
records.
Ask Blind Abilities to skip back 2 minutes.
Skipping backward 2 minutes.
Process, what to expect. I know sometimes that a lot of individuals can be
Echo?
a little bit over.
Ask Blind Abilities to skip backwards 4 episodes.
You skipped backward 4 episodes. iPhone 101. Even more tips and tricks with the single finger double tap and hold gesture. Would you like to listen to that?
Yes.
Here's iPhone 101. Even more tips and tricks with the single finger double tap and hold gesture.
Welcome to another iPhone 101 episode.
Echo? Ask Blind Abilities, play episode 375.
Here's That Blind Tech Show 14. From Twitter to FlickType to the AFB board and much, much more news. Like bone conduction sunglasses. Yup.
They had basically taken a lot of the iPhone gestures and put them on the Fire tablet. That made it a lot more usable for me because they had the magic tap for starting and stopping audio, so that was pretty cool.
Hello.
Well, I thought that was impressive, so I decided to write a little bit smaller and finish out a more of a written thought.
Take picture button. Processing. Hello. My handwriting sucks.
Allison, I have to ask you, do you feel left out of popular culture because you don't have an emoji that represents you? The return of Flexi, known as
Yay!
Echo. Stop.
Okay, come back anytime to listen to your podcast. You just have to say, Alexa, resume.
There's just some really cool things. So if you don't want to hear me and you only want to hear Allison, you could probably say fast forward a minute. No, that would be interesting, Jeff. Can you just say tune out Brian while listening to the show? Or?
That's in the next build.
Next build, future updates.
Yeah, that is the number one
But
request.
Jeff, I'm curious though, how did you put this thing together, and was it accessible to build, and did you use a framework, or how did that work?
Legos.
That's what I thought.
Wow, Legos can do anything.
Yes.
No, the thing is, because I'm with Libsyn, Rob Walsh, he's testing some stuff out, and this is one of the things that they're testing, and they opened it up to 20 people or whatever they did, and I got involved in it, and they put it out there. So it's going to be coming to Canada and the UK later this summer, maybe fall. I'm not sure what soon really means, but yeah. And that's the first thing I noticed. It goes out, and everyone's all, hey, yeah. And then I get these tweets coming in. I'm from Canada.
Sorry, but your skill is not available here, eh?
What's wrong with Canada and technology? Everything, like Amazon Prime just got there, a little while ago?
Yeah, they waited 3 years for it.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Apple News app, I think you still can't get in Canada. Wow. I never knew Canada was a third world country.
So the blind ability skill is available, and 3 minutes later, I start getting messages from the UK and Canada. It's kind of cool.
I say, why isn't blind abilities available here?
Yeah. The one way to fix that, just move to the United States.
What kind of confused me is Nick D'Ambrosio. He contacted me and said, hey, this is really cool. And he's from Canada. And I thought, oh, it works. Then he says, oh, by the way, I'm using an American address. So that explains
You
that.
got to do, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you put his last name in here so the government officials that listen to our podcast will
Government will find him.
find him, round him up, and deport him. You know, we now have a president that takes that stuff pretty seriously.
That's one way to get into the United States.
Nick, you just made the list.
Be afraid.
On a lesser, not as exciting note, the Blind Abilities app is now also available in the Google Play Store.
Hooray!
Yeah, it is. It's the first release, and there's a few buttons that are getting worked out, and it kind of got released before everything was tested totally, so it's one of those things that I'll get some more hate mail and all that stuff. So if you guys don't hear from me for like a couple weeks...
We'll come check on you.
Are you saying things on the Android side are just broken?
You wouldn't say that, would you?
You can play it. Vast amount of reasons why. Because I didn't get to test the build totally. Because I don't have an Android device.
The Android side is so broken. You ask it to play Blind Abilities, and it plays Blind Bargains.
You should have talked to me. I have a Google Pixel that I don't ever usually turn on, but I would have tested it for you.
I'll take you up on that.
Next time. Even though there's no magic tap. I want magic tap. I want magic tap. I want magic tap.
Magic tap.
I want magic tap in Android, but it doesn't exist.
It doesn't. I thought, with the blind ability skills coming to the A-Lady, that would be the most exciting thing I'd be able to do with my A-Lady. As of next week, though, I will be able to operate my air conditioning with the A-Lady.
Ooh.
Cool.
Yeah. How about this? General Electric released 5 models of their air conditioner that now all work with the Amazon Echo devices, Google Home, as well as HomeKit.
Wow.
Yeah. So
are they window units or
they are window
central?
units. I live in a rented apartment. It's funny. I've lived in apartments since 1995, and this is the first apartment where I ever had to buy my own air conditioning. But
I'm holding out till they come out with Apple units.
Apple, so you could spend more and get the same thing.
And only have it work half the time.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's funny, though, because I went to download to get prepared, and I went to download, like, GE also has an app that runs the air conditioner. 1.5 stars in the... I don't think I've ever seen anything that...
Oh, that's a new low. Oh.
I'm excited, though, because this will be my first HomeKit. I had to actually re-download the HomeKit app to my phone because I was looking for it. Like, where's the Home app? I went to the Apple Store, and then I realized I had removed it from my phone because I'm like, when am I ever going to use this and everything? So, but yeah, we'll put this article in the show notes, and they only sell, unfortunately, I had to go to the dark side. I couldn't buy these things through Amazon. Right now, they're only selling them at Home Depot and Lowe's. And sorry, Nick, those are probably the United States countries only. They don't ship to Canada. Yeah, this is exciting, though. Are you guys using any home automated devices, or Allison in the new home? Is that something you plan to do?
In the new home, I plan to. I want to get an Ecobee 3 thermostat. I want to get a smart lock for both of our doors.
Meanwhile, Jeff and Brian take off for lunch.
Welcome to Zoom Pizza. What would you like on your Zoom Pizza?
This could be a while.
I want to get some Hue light bulbs and a hub. I would like to trip out my home and make it as smart as possible from the get-go.
Yeah, when you said trip out your home, I was thinking your home was going to be bouncing like those cars on the street.
Yeah.
Pimp my home.
Can we call it your crib from now on?
Your crib.
The Hartley Crib. Yes, that's very street, and we are very street people.
Wasn't there a show called
like
The Hartley? Oh, I just realized. You know what the Hartley House was? Beverly Hills 90210. The main actor, Steve, when he was a little kid, he was on a show called The Hartley House. And
oh my goodness, are you serious?
Yeah, it just occurred to me. And I was actually an extra.
idea.
We won't get into that on 90210. But yeah, I made the White Man Bop a national dance. It was pretty. Watching it is what could have caused me to go blind. It was pretty bad.
Something, Brian, I bet you could tell anybody's life by TV shows.
I can.
You might, yeah.
Jeff, you're the show coach because that took place in Minnesota. Either that or Fargo.
Yeah, Fargo. It's filmed in Minneapolis. It's all about Minneapolis, and it's Fargo.
It's Fargo.
That's so weird.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, you betcha.
Getting back to these air conditioners, no clue how well they work, but I may know by next show how well they work.
Awesome.
They range from $229 to $319 American, depending on where you buy and which model you go with. But I figured it was worth the dive and everything, especially if I could just say, "Hey, lady, make it 42 degrees in here," And yes, that's Fahrenheit.
Ooh, 42.
42?
42. I like it cold. In fact, I have the windows open right now.
Wow.
Anyway, sticking with Amazon, I went to look at Amazon at the Element TV. I'm glad I didn't try and buy it because they were out of them all.
Ooh.
But also I decided to go with an air condition instead of a TV, which I don't really need. I think they're not selling the Element brand anymore because of this next announcement that Amazon and Best Buy, almost sounds like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
They are now partnering on a line of television. I think the prices might even be cheaper. I didn't need a 63-inch TV, and the minimum they sold in Element, I think, was 42 or 43.
Yeah, something like that.
Now they're going to be selling smaller sizes, so I'm assuming all these TVs will have voice view built into them. What do you you guys think?
I hope so. I mean, I have an Element TV, and I ended up having to get the 50-inch, but I'm happy with it. It hangs on my wall. It does what I want it to do. But I'm hoping the new Amazon TVs will have voice view. They would almost have to.
Well, they said that for them to really spread the Amazon products around, they need a brick and mortar store too. So is it the Insignia TV? Is that the one?
No, Insignia, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, because we know I've gotten things wrong before. Insignia is a really crappy brand, from what I understand, that Best Buy sold for years. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if they're going to discontinue Insignia or they're just going to move it to the side and say, you really don't want to buy these until they're out of them.
No.
Yeah, and
I went to Best Buy and I was looking I punched in Amazon TV Fire. All I got was the Fire Stick so far.
I don't think they've hit stores yet. I think they're going to hit them this summer and everything.
Soon, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go get in line.
Yeah, get in line and
wait, pull up a lawn chair.
But this is nice. I mean, of course, I've been to a Best Buy and their salespeople are not Mensa members. So yeah. I guarantee if you go to a Best Buy and say, oh, how do you turn voice view on? What's that? Why would a blind person need to see a television? So we can hear it, jerky?
Are they all from the hills of West Virginia?
Actually, none of them are. They all have these thick New York accents, but it was, for some reason, easier to do that one.
So if anybody knows that answer, are all Best Buy operators from the hills of West Virginia? Just give us an email.
Or send us a tweet.
At ThatBlindTech.
No, you're getting it. No, it's
Brian?
at Blind Tech Show and ThatBlindTechShow.
Yes, I was trying to give the email first. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah. Oh.
He said email, Allison. He didn't say Twitter. So.
Well, you can tell which one I put more importance on.
Yeah.
But if you do show up at a Best Buy company, make sure you wear a bright blue polo shirt.
Yeah. Did you ever see that Big Bang episode when Sheldon went to a Best Buy? And
yes.
He knew more than the salespeople, so everybody's in line to ask him questions.
Security threw him out. It was great.
He's like, yeah, they threw him out. Yeah, I love that show. I'm glad it's coming back for another year.
Me too.
I got a question for you about the Amazon TV. Now, this is going to have the Fire built into it, so you're going to have the talks, and it's just like operating a Fire Stick built into your television.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Same voice remote.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason to buy the Fire Stick, I would think, if you're thinking about getting the TV, obviously a Fire Stick's a lot cheaper, so if you want to go with the cheaper option, you would go with the Fire Stick. Fire Stick gives you portability, so if you're somebody who travels a lot.
Or if you have a TV that you already use and love for whatever reason, although if it's not accessible, I don't love it. But if your family really likes the TV that you have, or if it's new and you don't want it to replace, but if it's coming time to replace, just look into the Amazon TV.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you would keep a TV that you have that's not accessible is if it's an emotional support TV.
Right. But those don't count. You can't take them on a plane anymore. So
No. I was at the airport the other day, and there's 6 of them were stuffed into the garbage can right at the gates.
Emotional support TVs. I heard they made a woman flush an emotional support TV down the toilet.
Yeah. And I cried.
Oh, it was a horrible
terrible.
story.
Yeah.
In fact, you can go back to a previous episode. If you haven't picked up on it, I'm pretty sure we mean emotional support TV is code for emotional support animal.
Yeah.
Sticking with Amazon, though, because they're in the news an awful lot lately, and this next one is just not making me very happy.
Uh-oh.
Amazon Prime. I remember when it used to be $79. 4 years ago, they jacked it to $99. Now it's going to $119. And this really annoyed me because they came out at their annual stockholders meeting and they boasted that we have 100 million Amazon Prime members in the United States. Now we're going to raise it from $99 to $119. I mean, is this just greed? That's $2 billion. Of course, maybe Jeff Bezos is down to $98 billion, so he needed it, but... What are your thoughts, Allison? Are you going to stick with Amazon Prime?
Oh, heck yeah, I'm going to stick with it. We use Amazon for everything. We do the majority of our non-grocery related shopping happens on Amazon. So yes, I will be sticking with it. Gary's dog toys come from Amazon. Everything we do pretty much.
I also found Chuck It medium ultra balls, 2.5 inches, 2-pack. It's $8.52 total, including tax. Would you like to buy it?
Yes, I'm sorry, cancel. One of my A ladies got all in a tizzy. But yeah, I will pay the extra $20, and I'll keep paying if they raise it up to a certain extent. I don't know what that extent is. I'm not prepared to commit to an upper cap at this juncture.
How about yourself there, Jeff?
Well, I think if Trump bashes Amazon one more time, they might have to raise it up to $40 more.
That's true. I think, I'm definitely going to stick at the 119 mark. And what this is reminding me of a little is Amazon Fresh, which I was a huge fan of. And then they, I think you might have paid $7 for the delivery. Then out of nowhere, they got rid of that. And they said, if you want Amazon Fresh and your Amazon Prime, just give us another $200 a year. And I said, yeah, I'm going to Peapod. And I haven't thought of Amazon Fresh since then. So I just think that I don't know. I guess it has been 4 years, so you have to expect, a little bit of a price increase. But 1/5 the cost, it seems a little high.
I don't know. There is such a thing as inflation. Everything's getting a lot more expensive now. So I don't know. I'm not going to quibble over $20.
No, I like the service. I can order a product, find out it doesn't work, put it back in the box, give them a jingle, and bang, they come pick it up the next day,
Mm-hmm.
It's just endless. They got a great formula here going.
Now, this next topic, this had some kind of personal interest to me because Zoom Pizza, a company that I guarantee nobody's ever probably heard of. What they are is they're a robotic pizza company. So I believe they make the pizza, the robots, and they drive it around and, it's just delivered to you. It's a robotic pizza company. I think the pizzas are just made by robots. They're expanding and they're talking about taking their robotics into another area. The reason this was interesting to me is my sister actually works for the company. It's a small company based out of Northern California. But the question I have for you, Allison and Jeff. Allison, how do you see robotics maybe eventually changing the lives of blind people?
Well, I see robotics changing the lives of blind people in a couple of different ways. I mean, right now, for example, we have Ira, which is a visual interpreter, which is a live person on the other end of a call helping you with things. But if AI continues to improve, well, we need something like Ira. Or would we have a very smart AI following us around, just there to help us with various tasks that we need? I fully expect that eventually there will be a robot guiding solution sometime in our lifetime. And I can't tell you that I wouldn't consider it, because the thought of eventually losing my dog is really heartbreaking. So I would
Robo-dog.
I would definitely consider the Robo-dog. And then, of course, self-driving cars, robotics would play into that a lot, I think. So I could see it really changing the landscape for us, especially, and people with all different kinds of disabilities. I mean, I think of people that I know who are in wheelchairs who, because of the severity of their disabilities, need help with things like getting ready in the morning. And if their attendant doesn't show up for whatever reason, then they're kind of stuck until somebody else can come and help them. So I could see a robot helping with that. I mean, there's just a lot of areas, in the disability field at large where this could be a really, really big game changer.
That's true. How about you, Jeff? You dig robots? What are you thinking? You think the robots have a future?
I think this stuff is already here. I mean, take the Keurig machine. It's a coffee machine. Yeah, it makes it simple and all that. But what goes into making that? I don't think there's people punching this stuff out or injectors making the molds for anything anymore. I mean, today you take man versus machine. A machine doesn't need a vacation. A machine just needs to be repaired and replaced, but you probably have a backup. And when you take cost versus a machine over the lifetime of a career of a person, they're going to go with the machine. I think the humans are just going to be left out. Mm-hmm. So I think they are part of the future. So where does that put humans when you're thinking about the manufacturing forecast for employment in the future? And as for machines today, I mean, the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, each year has a lot of projections, but I only see a few of them coming to fruition. So yeah, the robots will be there. And we'll probably be enjoying the benefits of it. And I hope it's soon.
I want the future to be here now. Yeah. I don't want it to be when I'm like 75 and, although maybe as an older person, I would benefit for, get off my lawn, Oh.
What's an iPhone?
The iPhone is a smartphone made by Apple that combines a computer, iPod, digital camera, and cellular phone into one device with a touchscreen interface.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And from a personal standpoint, I just think it's really cool that my sister probably works for the real life version of Skynet that will lead to the robots taking over and everything. So luckily it's her married name. So when the robots come back, we won't be how Connor is the name in Terminator and everything. I don't have to worry about somebody coming back trying to kill Fischler.
Take us to your Fischler.
Moving on to something the robots probably love, Facebook. Oh, Facebook. They're the bane of my existence and everything. I went the other day to post on Facebook using the app, and they now seem to have a 2-screen thing where you have to click share or post to share, and I don't know if it's a new privacy thing. Anyway, this happened to me multiple times. The new post to share button does not seem to always work with VoiceOver. I had to hit it about 15 times before my post work.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah. Why can't Facebook seem to get accessibility right?
I don't know, considering that they have supposedly this, ACES crackerjack accessibility team. I'm not sure what they get paid to do, to be completely honest with you. They get paid to invent an algorithm that sort of, kind of, maybe describes pictures, and that allowed us to do 2-finger double taps and have some rotor action items, and that's great, but, what now? Are you still getting paid, guys? What are you doing?
Yeah. Jeff, how about you? Have you had any issues posting to Facebook?
No, I use the app, and I use a lot of it to post all the various podcast shows to different spots. I've been doing pretty good. The only thing that I've noticed now is, in my notifications, it might say something that I want to tap on, and I tap on it, and it doesn't go all the time. So if I go to another one and it does go, then I come back. It seems like things get stuck sometimes. you got to kick it a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say it's completely inaccessible, because these things, some people are having these issues, some people aren't. Until it happens to you and you're sitting there, post to share, and you're hitting it 10, 12 times.
Yeah.
I'm G-rated on this podcast, but in real life, I'm sitting there effing essing.
Yep. And it doesn't help that everybody's Facebook experience is slightly different, because the powers that be at Facebook and Zuckerberg, who in real life, I have another very unfamily friendly name for him. He decides they decide who gets what Facebook experience. So you may be having the problems and you may not. And it's ridiculous. And this is one of the many reasons why I very rarely even use Facebook.
So if you want to guess what name she has for Mark Zuckerberg...
Are we having a contest? You could win something from the Allison Tech Department.
Yes, the Allison Tech Museum.
I was really excited, though, because I get excited and depressed by Facebook both at the same time. It's almost like we're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because she knows everything about me.
You just can't quit her. Yeah.
I can't quit her. I did a 2-finger double tap the other day on a comment that somebody wrote on something, and there was a new option that said speak. And I'm like, ooh, what does this do? So I 1-finger double tap on it, and it just kind of reads the post that VoiceOver already read to me, in it was a little bit different voice, but it was wow, this is useless.
Well, maybe that's for people with learning disabilities or low vision who may not need the feature all the time, but when they bring up the little menu in whatever visual way they do it, they can get it read out loud if they're having trouble, especially if it's a long post.
Dyslexia.
Yeah.
So I guess, I'm just thinking of me because we know I'm a selfish...
You're in your little blind bubble, Brian. Yeah. Brian and his blind bubble.
Yes, I'm the blind bubble boy.
And stop giving Facebook that 1-finger gesture.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so bad about Facebook that people have gotten married and had children. I look at Facebook so little that I see a post every now and then about a toddler, and I'm like, when did you have a kid?
And now they're 4.
Yeah.
From 4 years ago.
Yeah. Allison?
Yeah.
There's a world that exists outside of Twitter.
Oh, is there? Allison. Well, you could have fooled me.
It's called the real world. It's Facebook. It just seems like, once again, Facebook's overall accessibility is just going downhill. They threw Facebook out the window along with Cambridge whatever,
Cambridge Scamalytica, yeah.
And you two as married people, I know, have got to be so excited that Facebook announced that they're going to take on dating to take on Tinder.
Oh, boy.
But these are for long-term dating.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, because Facebook didn't start out as a hookup site, so it's not going to deteriorate to that or anything.
It was a book-up site.
I can't wait until Facebook turns into Facebook, the internet's Sodom and Gomorrah.
So do you know anything more about Tinder Link here? I mean, that's an app where you can hook up or dating and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
It's all visual. You look at pictures of people and you swipe right, I guess, if you like them and want to find out more and possibly commence a hookup, or swipe left if you don't like them.
Don't like them, but still hook up.
It's very superficial and shallow because you literally learn nothing about the person. Yeah.
I downloaded it, installed it, Jeff, and before I knew it, I was dating men by mistake. So I got rid of it. It doesn't work well with VoiceOver.
So whose mistake was that, Brian?
No comment. I tried the app for a day, and next thing I knew, my sexuality had changed.
Wow.
Boy, I can't wait for my mom to listen to this on the new A-Lady.
I know, right? She's going to be so proud of you.
Yeah. He's dating. We're going to have grandchildren.
They already have grandchildren and everything, so they don't need any more. They got 3 of them.
That's plenty.
Yeah. And the twins, just so you know, they weren't planned. Oh, I hope they don't listen to this. You're a mistake. And there's 2 of you. Now you wonder why I don't get invited to family events.
I did wonder.
Oh, but moving on. So, the Twitter, and it's because I don't follow the Twitter as often as you guys. Allison, have they made any further headway with not breaking all third-party Twitter applications in 120 days?
No, the last I heard was it was still, the extension period was still rolling on, so I don't know what the heck's going to go on. I really don't.
What about you, Jeff? Have you heard anything further about Twitter destroying everything they built?
Crickets.
Crickets?
I see all the other apps updating. You got Tweetings, you got Twitterific 5 and all this stuff. It's like nothing's changed. I don't know. Will it change? I think the bottom line of this is money. And by Twitter restricting their API, and that's what Twitterific, Tweetings, and the other applications, third-party app, use to access Twitter, I think they want to make some money off of this, and this is one way of them starting that in that direction. So I'd be willing to pay a little bit for the Twitter app, but it's been free for so long. It's hard to really justify it, but I did pay $20 for my Twitterific on Mac. I think I paid something for other type of third-party Twitter apps. So if Twitter starts collecting money on a little bit of something, I guess that's just a way of keeping the Twitter tweeting.
Well, it's really gonna stink when when this happens, or if it happens. I don't want to cause panic, but all is well. All is well. But Jeff, did Twitter give your password to everybody in the world?
No, I heard they really didn't do that, but it was shocking news at first. It's like only 300 million, so I was like, whew.
Yeah, I changed it anyway, just to be safe.
Did you change your passwords or no?
I'm not saying. I plead the fifth.
Oh, everybody go try to hack Jeff, known as Jeff.
You know what I want to know?
Yeah.
I want to know who's the Twitter employee that has to write all 320 million passwords into a WordPad that everybody can see. That is not a job that I like,
I know, right? That's a grunt job. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science from MIT, and I have to do this.
But what are your thoughts? You guys, relating this, being serious here for a second.
Okay, for a second.
Do you think it's wise to change your passwords every so often, every 6 months, 4 months, 1 year, 8 months? What do you think?
I don't know if it's wise every so often. I think it's wise every time we get word of a breach. I think if you're really, really security minded, at least once a year. But I think unless there is a known breach, which we don't always know about until way after, especially if you're using a strong, hard to guess password like generated by 1Password like I do, then you're in less danger. But in this case, when everything was so blatantly stored in plain text, even though they said that nobody had accessed them or breached the database, I didn't trust them, so I changed it.
My password to Twitter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little Spaceballs reference.
Did you stop at your thumb?
I can't count much higher, so I get confused. Once I have to involve both hands in the counting, all bets are off. So what about you, Jeff? Do you change your passwords on a regular basis, semi-regular basis, or never?
On a consistent basis? No, I don't change it all the time. But over the years, I can see the pattern of how I've changed my passwords from one iteration to the next iteration, whether it's the front half or the back half being changed, or keeping the back half, changing the front. But I can kind of see how it's morphed over the years.
I'm not talking about your haircut, Jeff. I'm talking about your password.
Or plastic surgery.
May explain why my Twitter handle got changed to known as Jeffy Poo. Brian, Allison. And it's not like I got $1 billion sitting around.
Well, you don't now. I took it.
Dang it.
If you're looking to hire somebody to change all your passwords, email ThatBlindTechShow@gmail.com and we'll charge you a nominal fee.
$100 a minute. That's all.
$100 a minute. So, Jeff, have you ever been sitting in a car just like kind of wishing, on one of those long rides? I know you go to Indiana sometime where you just could kind of feel the landscape outside.
I saw that, what they're doing with the windshields on Ford. And I was just thinking people were waving at me.
This was a weird story, and of course we'll include the link in the show notes. But yeah, just bizarre. I mean, how would I read this article and I read it a second time because I'm not that smart, so that way I try and fully understand everything. And it's just I still don't understand how this. I guess it would be different temperature feels or something.
I don't know. It's going to be vibrations, heat, or tactile. But imagine leaning forward with your seatbelt on. You're trying to reach the whole windshield and check out the scenery. This is a cornfield. I'm sure the driver's going to look over and say, Billy, use the Windex, clean off that windshield now.
Allison, what about you? You ever get bored in those long car rides?
I mean, it sounds, the premise is cool, but it's like, is this going to be a thing where, with the hero's call, I had to learn 1,000 different sound effects and the game no longer became fun? Is this going to be like where I have to learn 1,000 different vibrations for these different things and then it's not going to be fun anymore? Because I'll be racking my brain, what the heck does this mean? Does this mean corn or like a cow or what
Two areas where I thought this could be really cool is like when you're in a bad neighborhood. I mean, what would that feel like? It would be like,
yeah.
Wow, that's really hot. Don't touch.
What does it mean when the windshield cracks?
Yeah. What I don't understand about this is why don't they have that imagery go to like an iPad or another type of screen?
Ooh, yeah. Instead of groping the windshield, yeah.
Instead of having 4 people leaning forward and the driver's trying to see.
And the driver's like, criminy, you guys, I'm just trying to drive here.
And I'm going to love the disclaimer. If you're driving your car, you're not allowed to touch the windshield to feel the landscape around you. They're like, what caused the accident? Oh, he was trying to feel the heat of the landscape around him instead of having his hands on the wheel.
I don't think it's a navigation device.
Yeah, he didn't know where to turn, so he thought if he felt the window, he'd be able to feel.
Windshield.
I just really wondered, did they really ask the blind people, like,
do you want this?
Like, if you're sitting in the back seat, you never get to use it.
You can't reach all the way out to the front. Unless you have, like, freakishly long arms.
The only thing I could see this being kind of valuable for is, like, say you drive past, like, Demi Moore or Sandra Bullock and you had to feel the window. That would be cool. But outside of that, I don't really see much use for this. And,
yeah, me neither.
I'm not a very tactile when they show me pictures of stuff and it's tactile, like Braille dots.
Yeah, it's all two-dimensional.
Yeah. Until they tell me it's a pilgrim sharing corn with the Indians,
Somebody said, don't you feel the river? I said, no, I feel wood. And now I think I have a splinter. I've never got those tactile.
I like 3D.
Yeah.
I like 3D imagery. I mean, what was really interesting, I went over to the Pacers Center in Bloomington, Minnesota, and I got to see their 3D printers and the products that they put out. And the guy said they made these little Star Wars things, and I grabbed one. It's a little H-type shape, starship something. It was really cool because he said it costs about like 2 to 3 cents to make one of these things. And the kids can actually put them in their hand and feel them and get the shape and everything and take them home. It's really cool.
Yeah.
That's so we'll see. Like I said, this might be one of those ideas that sounded good in theory, but they're like, what were we thinking once they try to manufacture it?
Yeah.
So, we've been doing this show, believe it or not, for I guess the 3 of us for about 10 months.
Have we?
Now,
oh my God, I guess we have.
Wow. Yeah. So maybe it's 9 months. I have to look at the first date where the 3 of us started doing it. We had a couple of other shows. And guess what, people? We're now getting emails.
Wow.
I've got some great emails that we got that I thought we should mention on the show because, sometimes you get a great email and sometimes you don't. Like this first one that from Unknown, which actually said, I have something to say, and I couldn't wait to open it. And then it said,
that really makes you want to read it.
Tone down the sarcasm and just read the news because all we want to hear is the news.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't want to have any fun doing this show.
Ever.
Did I really sign that? Unknown?
You did. Unknown as Jeff.
It's funny he mentioned it because the original name of the show was supposed to be That Sarcastic Blind Tech Show, but it was too long for Twitter and email, and we got rid of sarcastic. So.
I couldn't spell it either.
Yeah.
I am so sorry. So sorry. Sorry. That's all I have to say.
There are at least 10 blind tech shows out there, and 9 out of 10 of them might not be sarcastic. We pride ourselves on our sarcasm. Yes. But no, I mean, we wouldn't be doing this show if we weren't having fun. And, we don't get, Jeff gets paid $1 million for every episode because he's the big star. Allison and I just, we get peanuts, but,
yeah, literally.
Okay, fine. I'm changing my password. When I got that email, I kind of thought, well, okay, they're looking for the news, and the intent of the show is to bring a lighter side to things and to look at things in a comical way sometimes. But we do hit the hard points of the news and share them. So all joking aside, we try and bring you some good information with a little touch of humor to it and all that. So thanks for your email. And the next email that received refers to a name that could set off 1 million devices around the world. It's the A-Lady. What is the A-Lady?
And this is the portion of the show where if you know how to spell it, it will be good. We're talking about Alexa. The reason we say A-Lady, I hate when I'm listening to a podcast and they're just throwing that A word around. And it's setting my devices off right now.
Abdominal?
Abdominal? Yeah.
Abdominal, relating to the abdomen.
That's why we use A-Lady, S-Lady. So, Jeff, anything you want to say about the A-Lady?
Hey, Bixby.
Yes, for the 1% of people in the world who maybe have a Bixby.
We just lost them. I tell you.
We're losing all. Nobody's ever going to email us again. No. Yeah, we will email you back. So email us in if you ever have any questions.
Please do.
I've responded. Mildred emailed us in and said, add me to your email list. And I said, what email list?
Bless her heart. We don't have one.
No. Unfortunately, I did email her back.
I'm going to start it. So every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 7:01 p.m., I'll be sending out that email, Mildred. And I'll say, thanks, Mildred.
Sorry, but we are only a podcast, unlike other shows that post articles that are stolen from the internet and just copy them and send them out. I have a real issue with that because I come from a journalism background. I'm not going to mention that show by name, but there is a show out there that needs to learn that you can quote articles from the internet. Just give credit to the original author, people. Don't print it as if it's your own.
Yeah.
Are you reading that from a script, Brian?
No, that was... I didn't...
No, I would never do that.
I did not plagiarize that last statement. So, we got another great question, last email, from Ray Williams. I'll let one of you field this because is setting up the A-Lady fully accessible?
It is.
From your iPhone, yeah. From the app.
Yes, it is from your iPhone. There are certain aspects of setups that I think you can do from the website once you have it initially configured. But the initial setup needs to be on an iPhone or I believe an Android device as well. But yeah, I've never had any issues. It's just a little bit more finicky in terms of you have to connect to like an ad hoc Wi-Fi network and then add your Wi-Fi. But that's pretty much like most smart speakers. The only smart speaker that I think had a super easy setup process. The Google Home wasn't too bad from what I remember, but the HomePod, I had that thing set up in about 2 minutes because it was able to take a lot of information from my phone because it was nearby and just transfer it that way.
And Allison, can you explain to our listeners what an Android device is?
Well, see, there's this other company named Google who manufactures a more open, supposedly, operating system called Android, and they have an accessibility solution called TalkBack that is actually, in all seriousness, starting to catch up with iOS, I think. I'm sorry, until there's Magic Tap, I don't want to even talk about it.
I'll just say yes, it's fully accessible setting up the A-Lady because I set up my mom's. And it's gotten better because when it first came out, they had some accessibility issues with the setup process.
They did, yeah.
It took me forever. I can't remember if it was connecting to my Wi-Fi now. There was one part of it that was not very accessible. And, I just had an interesting experience, Jeff, because I have a client that uses Pandora, which I haven't used in like 5 years. So I had to use it to figure out just the screens and stuff and just navigate. And I decided I'd hook it up to my A-Lady, but when I went into music in the app for the A-Lady, there was no way to sign into my Pandora account. And under Pandora, it had your list and it had Christmas music. And I'm sorry, but I don't really listen to a lot of Christmas music, so I don't think that was my account. Jeff, have you set anything up recently?
I got the Wemo switches and stuff, and they use that ad hoc system too, where you go into your settings, go into your Wi-Fi, and then this mysterious little thing pops up, and so you hook up to that, and that bridges you so you can connect up. So if you are going to be setting up your Amazon device, I suggest that you have your password ready, that your Wi-Fi is. And make sure you have Wi-Fi, because some people will buy a smart TV thinking they can just play it, but you need Wi-Fi there too. So having those codes, it's pretty self-explanatory. They've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, they really have. I thought it was really cool how you connect to that like Amazon Wi-Fi for a split second, then you have to go back in and switch it to your Wi-Fi. I'm like, ooh, Amazon just gave me a free Wi-Fi. Oh no, that's just some
Wi-Fi. Thanks, Amazon.
So if you heard something explode, maybe that was the new self-destructing Gmail. Are either of you still using Gmail?
Oh, yeah. I've used Gmail for 12 years. I'm not switching.
Do you use their web-based platform, or are you using, were you just using it on your iPhone in the regular stock mail app? Or?
Yeah, I use it on Windows Mail app. I use it on the iPhone. I use it a little bit in Chrome if I'm looking for a specific message on Windows. So I use it kind of all over the place.
I still have my Gmail account. I left Gmail for Mac Mail, it's got to be, 6 years ago, when the Mac had all the, I think it was Mavericks, had all the Gmail and slowed the computer to a crawl, and that's when I finally jumped over. But I'll tell you what, I was reading about some of these new features. I mean, that self-destructing email, sending an email to somebody that they can't copy or forward. A lot of times I want to say something in an email, but I'm smart and I don't, because I don't want it to end up in the wrong hands. Question is, I haven't looked at Gmail on their web-based platform in years, and it did not have the greatest accessibility features, at least playing with it from the Mac. So I wonder how, and I think this might still be in beta. I don't know if it's fully released. But Allison, have you sent a self-destructing email yet?
I have not, but actually the email that I just sent you will self-destruct in 5 seconds, so you better go check it.
I hear that, and I'm just hoping it doesn't blow me up.
Well, it's a chance you'll have to take.
I wonder how that works, though. Like, what if you're like, oh, I missed that last line. Nope, it's gone. Is there a time limit? What if my doctor sends me test results that are in a self-destruct email? And I'm like, the last line is, by the way, you'll be dead in a week. Oh, I missed that.
Well, since we're using screen readers, will we get double time for this reading of the
Is there a timeout option? But
yeah.
I supposedly they're massively overhauling Gmail, and it definitely needed it. Because I don't really live in the Google environment, I know there's a lot easy ways to add things to the calendar. Some of the features sounded really cool, and it did make me think back to going back to Gmail. Guess who has an email at Gmail? ThatBlindTechShow.
That's right.
Gmail.com.
Or at BlindTechShow on Twitter.
So, along with Gmail being new, I've been playing around in the Allison new product world.
Well, now that I'm going to have a mortgage, somebody else has to.
I have not had a case on my iPhone 7 for 2+ years that I've had it. One of the things that I'm, trying to be out and about more, and I constantly using my iPhone, and I have the lipstick chargers, and I actually had a case that would charge it, but it was funny. I didn't, because it was an old case for the 6, it didn't fully fit on the 7, but it would work enough to charge it. I had it in my sweatshirt pocket, and it broke. So I started looking on the Amazon. Sure enough, I found this great case. Again, thrilled with this product. It is called a Smiphee, and we'll put the link in the show. $39.99. It is basically a rubber iPhone case for the 7 or 8. It adds little to no weight or girth to the phone, and it charges the phone.
So are you practicing safe texting now?
Safe iPhoning, yes. I'll tell you, this is a must-have product. If you're constantly out there charging your iPhone and it's dying, highly recommend this product. The great thing about this, a lot of iPhone cases charge with a USB, and then you're taking it off, and this is a lightning charger as well, so you never have to take it off.
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Do they make one for the 10? Because I would like to get one for the 10.
I'd look up the company. I believe it's Smiphee. It looks like it's Smiphee.
And is it safe? Is it MFI certified and all that jazz?
I believe so. Yeah, I've had it so far for a little over a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, and
your phone hasn't fried.
No, it I blew up. I mean, this thing's not going to protect it, so I can't throw it against the wall or anything. But
you'll have to find another way of letting out your aggression.
But it does offer some protection.
It offers some, but it's not 100%
it is rubber
protection.
After all.
Yeah. It's not. So if you need a rubber battery charge casing from Smiphee, just check our show notes. By Smiphee.
Smiphee. Another product that I just bought, but it's not here yet, but because I'm Amazon Prime, it'll be here tomorrow. So maybe we should hold off recording until Tuesday, and we'll put the link in the show notes. It was $7. It was 5 USB chargers where you just plug it in the wall, and you've got 5 USB slots that supposedly are high-speed charging and everything. And I don't even know if I'll use this at home, but when I travel, like if I'm in a hotel or staying with my parents, I don't want to have to find multiple outlets. It's nice. I know where one is. I just plug this in, and I could, plug 4 or 5 devices into it and just have everything in the same area and everything.
That's awesome. I want to get one of those.
Oh, I tell you what. You mentioned you got Ira now, Allison.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to a hotel room and you want to start finding these plugins, mysterious plugins, wherever they are, they're getting better at it. But I was out in Vegas. I had to move furniture to get access to the outlets.
Ugh, that's crazy.
Did you put on one of those belts to protect your back when you moved everything like the movers have on?
People are there for business and stuff yeah, I was there for business. And you'd think they would have an ample amount of stuff to plug in. You got chargers, you got this, you got that. And just, I'm not knocking the golden nugget, but I want to. I wish they would have at least 2 more USB spots or something to plug something into. You guys probably never had that problem.
No, I was in a hotel that actually had an iPhone charging dock, but I practice safe iPhoning, so I didn't want to just use a thing that had been mass used by other iPhones and everything.
What else has been inserted into that port?
And on that note, this has been a sarcastic That Blind Tech Show. It's been a lot of fun. There's always lots of laughs. And keep the comments coming. Even if you don't agree with us, like I said, we'll read your email. Good feedback, bad feedback, let us have it. If you have questions, hopefully we answered some of them. That was kind of fun. And every email we do send back does come with an official Brian Fischler autograph to the bottom of the email. So keep that in mind. Allison, what do you have coming up?
Well, let's see. Aside from moving, I'm on a billion different podcasts, so you can find out all about what I'm doing on and off the internet at Hot4Technology. That's hot, the number 4 technology on Twitter.
Do you have a move date yet, or?
Probably, because there's a tenant living there now, probably closer to the end of June, early July. We also want to get some work done at the new house. So lots going on. It's a little overwhelming right now, but it'll all be worth it in the end.
Jeff, what do you got coming up?
In Minnesota here, spring has come and all the places up north open up. We have a seasonal thing that now all the parks are open. We just had Canterbury Downs open up with the Kentucky Derby and going on and stuff like that. So it's kind of exciting now. We've all been hibernating and now everything becomes alive. So looking forward to this summer. We just booked our flight for the Orlando for the NFB convention and booked the flights for England in September.
Jolly good.
So you're going to go see those people that you're not giving the A-Lady skill for blind abilities to in person.
I'm going to hand deliver it.
Jeff, I thought Jeff was going to say, I'll be working on the Google Home blind abilities skill. Can't make all the people happy all the time. That's something I learned quite a long time ago. If I'm not on the next show, it means I fell out the window while we were hooking up the air conditioning. If Allison's not on the next show, she is on the run from the law. And if Jeff is not on the next show, we're screwed because he produces the show. He does a fantastic job and he gets it out there, so you will not hear a next show. For now, we are That Blind Tech Show. Remember, just at Blind Tech Show on the Twitter. Bye for now, and we're out.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap
between the limited expectations and the realities of blind abilities.
The realities of blind
abilities.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities. Download our app from the App Store, Blind Abilities, that's 2 words, or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Thanks for listening.